Friends, I had made several trips to Walt Disney World and tried to vlog my experiences, and I never quite found an audience that made it rewarding for me. So when I went on this trip and the videos weren't working out, I almost gave up. But because I didn't and I pushed through, I found out something amazing on this trip that not only made this trip successful, that will probably make all the trips to come. So if you've ever thought about giving up, this is a video for you, because I didn't. I pushed through and I found a reward that I can't wait to share with you. Brickey here. It's my first day back to the real world after being out at Walt Disney World for a week. And let me tell you, so much to do to get caught back up. It's been a whirlwind of a day. In fact, there's only 10 minutes left in this first Monday back. And this is when I finally had an opportunity to film today's video. But you know what? This video is about not giving up, and I sure as hell wasn't gonna give up today, more so than any day. Let's keep the streak alive. Let's have a little walk and talk. And I'm just gonna give you a quick heads up. Tonight's video probably won't have my famous B-roll. I'm on my different camera, and it's late at night, and there's surprisingly a lot more sketchy people out than I would assume that would have been in what I consider to be one of the most safest spots of Orange County. But we'll just say we're gonna keep our eyes on the prize tonight. A good friend of mine who I respect dearly, I mean, the guy's in his 40s and he's already retired. He once told me that vacation is a myth. And I thought it was like one of those bro things where oh, I work so hard, I never take a break. But then he told me his theory on vacation. I'm like, he's actually right. Because part one of his theory is that you never really get away. He believes, and now I do, vacation means, or trips mean, you work twice as hard before you leave, and then working harder when you get back to get caught up. And that's the day that I just lived. So his theory was, do you ever actually take a break, or do you just kind of slide everything around? Slide some to before the trip, slide some after the trip, and the trip is just sort of a pause between hell on each side. Man, last week was a lot of work. It was also a lot of escapism, and today reminded me why sometimes traveling does have a price that you pay. So even though I was working nonstop out at Walt Disney World, I was working nonstop on one of my projects. But that didn't mean that my other projects would just totally go away. Is it worth it? I think ultimately it is, but there is sort of a strange price that we pay in the idea of escapism. So if you happen to watch my content from Walt Disney World, I appreciate it. And if you watch the super vlog, there's a moment in there when I'm at Animal Kingdom, halfway through the trip, where I got very honest with the audience, because the idea of this channel was always to be creatively just do whatever and always break down the fourth wall, always communicate with the viewer as if they're my friend, because really that's what makes this fun for me. So here, there are no secrets, things that you try to keep from the viewer. Dude, scared the shit out of me. There are no secrets, there are no things that you try to keep from the viewer. It's just we are on this journey together. I tell you everything, and hopefully you respect that level of transparency, and it makes us friends. So when I shared that those videos were doing bad, I was halfway through the trip, and at that moment, my Walt Disney World content was doing bad, which sets up sort of a friction point of well, why travel all the way across the country? Why spend all of this extra money and effort when I can get twice as many views just shooting a video in my home studio? This doesn't add up. And so underperforming was very true the first part of the trip. But instead of just being it's not working and feeling sorry for myself, I didn't want to do that. I decided to push through. And really what I had to figure out was, how do I properly communicate what I'm doing in these videos in a way that resonates with my audience? And I definitely never ever want to trick anyone. Tricking your audience is no way to build a relationship or to make friends. If you fool somebody, you'll fool them once, maybe twice, but eventually they'll just give up on you and your bullshit. And ultimately, what I had to do was stop thinking about what does this story mean to me, but what would it mean to you? What would be relatable about my experience that would be similar to your experiences? And it was the Animal Kingdom video where it kind of all fell into place, because a lot of people that have been to Walt Disney World have experienced rain delays. And then kind of what everybody dreams of is an empty theme park. So with the cover saying, totally empty, and with the title being like, hey man, things were going bad, then it turned around. That created enough commonality, enough curiosity that people were like, oh, this relates to me. These are things that I understand. I want to check out this video. And once that video took off, it gave the inspiration to go back to the previous videos and go, my Epcot video. I made it all about like how Epcot makes me feel. But what I needed to do was remind you how Epcot makes you feel and make it more friendlier to my friends. But you see, I've gone to Walt Disney World several times. I've tried to film content there, and it's never ever worked. It's always gotten less than desired results, and less results than frankly what I get for just doing stuff in the town that I live in. So it always felt like the airfare, the time away, the preparation, the catch up, the editing on the road, it just never felt worth it. But this time, I just wasn't going to give up. I was going to push through because I believed that the content was good. And I could read the people that were watching the content. I could read the comments and see that people were actually enjoying this. So in many ways, what you guys told me about the videos taught me what I needed to tell everybody else about the videos. So being transparent and being honest and treating my audience as if they are my friend, because they are, really worked out, because me and my friends figured this out together, whether you knew you were an active participant or not. And it's really easy on social media to blame the algorithm or the companies out to get me. But really the only person you have to blame isn't your audience, it isn't the robots, it's you. And the reason why my audience originally wasn't listening to me is because I wasn't telling you what you wanted to hear. But once I made some adjustments, things really turned around. And so slowly, piece by piece, the videos started to come together when I started to learn how to communicate this new adventure. And to say that I was excited would be underestimating how I felt, because this potentially has just opened up a whole realm of possibilities of the types of videos I can make, where I can make them, and where I can take my friends. Because this pivot would yield some of my most successful videos ever on the vlog, and definitely my most successful ever vlogs from Walt Disney World. But what it also gave me was a bit of permission to not feel like, oh, people only want one thing from me. They just want to see Disneyland or Southern California. No, people want me to show them my experiences that are similar to theirs. So because I didn't give up, I was able to teach myself what I kind of already knew, but I needed to be reinforced, that it's not all about the views. It's about the shared experience. And because I was getting really beautiful comments from my audience, you were telling me all along how to tell other people why they should watch these videos. So one of the main things I wanted to learn on this trip was how to become a better video creator, a better vlogger, and a better friend to my audience. And all three of those goals were accomplished, but they weren't accomplished initially. So my overall takeaway is I didn't give up. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I just looked at it as a puzzle. I looked at all the data in front of me and I said, what is this data telling me? What are people reacting to? What is making them happy? And how do I give that back to my audience? So let's imagine in my frustration, I just felt sorry for myself. called the week a loss and just said, whatever, I'm just not meant to do this. It didn't work out, whatever. Not everything works out in this world. If I would have given up and not pushed through, I never ever would have learned what I learned this week, and I wouldn't have the optimism to know that there are so many places I can go now. There are so many stories that I feel like I'm capable of telling now. Or maybe I always knew how to tell the stories, but now I think I know how to tell them in a way where people will care and people will tune in. Like, the amount of people that watched the super vlogs was insane. I literally thought that would just be for the most hardcore of hardcore. I did the editing and everything based on 2,000 people are gonna watch this because those are like the people that really care. And episode 1 of the super vlog was one of the most successful videos out of the gate that I've ever had. And it just feels so humbling that video is just about me and my story, and the comments and the views and the people that were watching, like, on paper, it shouldn't have worked, and it did. And it inspired me to just keep pushing forward. So at first, what felt like a failure, just with a little bit of massaging, turned out to be, in this project, one of my greatest statistical wins, but by far, on this journey, one of my greatest emotional wins. And on a project like this, you're gonna need to have your heart in it to go the distance. Look, YouTube is hard. Social media is hard. Chasing your dreams is hard. You need to celebrate every little win and every person that's willing to go on that journey with you. My heart is full, exploding with gratefulness for all of the people that made this such a successful trip for me. And we're just getting started. So the reason why I'm standing in Orange Circle 10 after midnight is because I had to say thank you. I had to tell you that I appreciate you so much for sticking with me and helping us work together on kind of solving one of the biggest problems I've had with this type of content. But I also was not going to let the streak die. I was not going to give up, especially when I knew the next video I had to make was a video all about pushing through. Because literally at the end of 2023, I almost gave up YouTube. And since then, all of 25 and this first half of 26, it has been nothing but growth, nothing but figuring out more and more who I am as a creator, how to communicate with my audience, and how to just make this thing I love doing more and more fun, more and more rewarding. So the love just gets bigger and bigger and bigger for it. And it's something that I just can't even imagine turning off at this moment. So not only did I have an amazing trip to Walt Disney World, but I had an amazing creative journey with you, my friends, and really came back with new life, new inspiration, and really kind of a permission to believe in myself in this project like I've never experienced before. So from the heart of the Orange Circle and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being my friend. Thank you for going on this journey with me. And thank you for working together as a team on how we could figure this out. I am truly excited about the future, very inspired to keep going. And I owe so much of it to each and every one of you that decided to click, that decided to watch, and decided to comment and say, hey, this is what I liked. Because without that, I really don't know if I would have made it through last week with the level of success and inspiration that I came home with. Thank you so much. I appreciate each of you. I guarantee you, I'll see you tomorrow.